So before you start doing anything, you need to set your character up. So like this is the Norman rig. He's a pretty standard rig that a lot of people use online, and he comes with a bunch of different things that you can use. Now, for this class, for the classes from now on, you're going to be using IK exclusively. You're not going to use FK. I never use FK. You don't really need it. So you're going to switch the arms to IK. So what I see a lot, what a lot of the teachers here see, is students just open a scene up, and then they just start moving the character and animating it. You know, just start moving it around and keying it. And when they haven't even explored the rig or set it up properly. So if you look at here, you see a bunch of stuff. All these, you know, this is like set up for FK, which you can't use in animation for just about anything, because you have 3 joints you have to animate, and you can't ever place the hand, because if you try to place the hand down, then you move the body, the arms go with it. So if you want to place the hand somewhere, you need to set it to IK. And you'll see like these little EXs here. Each rig is different. That's why it's important before you start doing anything with it, you turn all the crap off you don't want to use, and then you set it up properly. So I'd go to EX here, and I would set that to 1. Now that's set to IK. Same here, FK, IK, you go to 1. Now you want to do this in the beginning of your scene, because if you don't, let me set that over there to 1, because if you don't do that, then you're going to have to go back and redo a bunch of work. So now it's set to IK. Now we have all this crap on here we don't need, right? We have the IK arms, and we have, you know, all these extra channels, all this stuff that you're not going to really use. Now you might use it if you're doing something extreme, but otherwise you're not going to use any of this stuff. So there's Viz Control here, which controls all that stuff. So here I already know that I don't want these on, these things for the legs and the arms, so I'll set that to 0, turn those off. I don't need all this purple garbage, which doesn't do anything. It's for FK. So I'll turn that off, if I can find it. Yeah, the gimbal, so 0. Turn those off. I don't need all these finger controls, right? These, because I'm using the hand controls here. So I'll select that, and I'll find hand tweaks. Turn that to 0. Okay, that's pretty good. So we're ready for animation, I think. Pole vectors. Pole vectors, you want to set them to the world. You don't want to set them to local. So if I go to 0 and set them like that, every time I move the foot, actually they don't in this one, but a lot of characters, when you do that, this follows along, right? And every time you move the leg, you have to reposition it. So I set them to world, so they stay locked. So they won't move unless I move them. Same here. When you like this character, when you start them out, these pole vectors are set up here and here, and they're set to rotations. You want to translate your pole vectors. You don't rotate your pole vectors. So this is already set up to world, you can see right here. So when I move the arms, they stay put, right? So if I want to move the elbow, I do that and position it. And I go to another frame and move it. It stays there, and then I would move it over there. Okay? So that's basically how I set up the character. You know, you go through, you see how things work, right? You see like what channels or what you're going to use, what controls you want, set it to IK, and then set the pole vectors to world, and then make sure things are turned on and off, the things that you want to use.